Now, I think it's time now that we discuss the difference between a submission and a hook. A submission basically is that it's a concession hold. It allows the opponent to tap out, nice and kindly. A hook is like a knockout punch. A hook will rip that arm or whatever the limb is and destruct it instantly, okay? So think of a submission like a punch that hits you and you say, okay, that hurt, all right, I had enough. Or a knockout punch where you're down for the count, you're unconscious. A hook is the knockout blow of submissions. I'm gonna put a top wrist lock on Costa, and I'm gonna do it right, you're gonna know, because he's going to react. He's very uncomfortable, his body's moving, and what I'm doing now is I'm taking his pinky beyond being upright, and it's going as far down as I possibly can. And I am grabbing at the thumb pad with my two fingers, my fourth and fifth finger, and my middle finger is on that notch of the wrist. Size and strength don't matter. You'll see Costa apply this on Brian later. When you do it like this, the traditional way, it becomes a strength move. This is not good technique. This is poor technique. A good demonstration of this is I'll just use one hand. Costa, straighten your arm out. It's very easy for him to straighten his arm out because it's poor technique. When you do the top wrist lock this way, when I get that grip on, Costa, straighten your arm out. He can't budge, okay? That's elite technique. Any other way is not using the good technique. Now, people will talk about, well, his arm is slippery, I can't get it. That's all BS. What you want to do is, I am not physically twisting, just like I wasn't on a double wrist lock on the feet. I am just grabbing at that pad. 9 times out of 10, they give it to you. This is the position already. And when Costa rolled, when we were going, inadvertently, you know, you had that position. And I'm not twisting at all. My wrist is steady as I'm bringing it to the ground. And it puts it already in that natural position. So this is very important. I don't want to go into too much details other than the fact of if he's laying there comfortably, you're not doing the hold right. Second thing is a lot of people talk about bringing their elbows in together and pinching here and so on. There's more to it than that. Let me explain. I will vary my grip, but generally I want to be as high up on the palm as I possibly can, and I want to bring his hand in. But the point is, not so much even the pinching here. Let's turn the angle, where I've taken away all of his space. I've seen guys do this, and then they still blow the hold by lifting their elbow up to try to tap him. Way too much movement. The key to doing a proper top wrist lock is I've pinched and I go in a semicircle across his rib cage. The finished position is this, and I go around his rib cage. Now I'm going to explain why. I can't explain it completely graphically on him because it would rip out his rotator cuff. But come here. I got the arm. I'm coming down. Now normally in a fight, I'm coming down with my elbow on his face. I'm ripping him up. I pinch my elbows nice and tight. Everything is snug. Now the reason I don't want to lift up, anytime I lift up, gives Costa resistance. I want his elbow as close to the body and then just, that's all it took was just a slight move to make him tap. Now, in the world of hooking, to make this so where he cannot tap and it becomes a hook, I am going to do this. Now remember, I'm framed up. I sit through. Goodbye, Costa. His arm is gone. I didn't move my elbow up. I sat through by bringing my elbow in a circle or a semicircle across his rib cage, abdomen area. When you land this on someone in the street, that's what you need to do. Without Costa on me so the camera can see my footwork, I'll go very slow. I had Costa here, and I sat through. Now, look at the torque. I came all the way around. Now, mind you, when I did this right, it only took what? An inch or two before you were tapping?
Barely, half an inch.
Half an inch maybe? Let's get down there and show it again. Oops, sorry, bud. Nice and tight. I don't know if the camera can zoom in, but you can see the tendons in his forearm already flaring out. So from here, that's all it took, was that much to get him to submit. With the reverse sit out, I'm coming, I don't know, maybe 24 inches. I mean, with all my body weight behind him, it's done. His shoulder is going to be blown out, okay? So that's very important. So again, the keys to the top wrist lock are that great tension. See, he's uncomfortable already, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm taking the palm of my hand and I'm driving it down to the mat. That's where he's locked in. That's where all the pressure is, right there. I am literally twisting his arm outward with pressure of my hand, okay, and my body weight behind it. Secondly, again, it's the firm grip, and then it would be just a slight motion or the sit out, where I would rip it out. That would make it a hook. Now some keys for beginners. Let's slide down, please. Here, like firm up a little bit. Normally what I want to do is I want to keep face pressure on him. Now, Cost has been through enough right now, but I'm going to be putting face pressure on him, or I'm going to be underhooking his elbow like I've shown on the Lost Art of Hooking back in the 90s. And I'm going to use that to lever out. But the top wrist lock can come from so many ways. Just keeping heavy pressure on him and him trying to push up, you know, gives me that top wrist lock. And once again, anytime I know that his pinky is up, I got it. I grab underneath, keep everything tight, use my body weight to drive down, and turn it into a hook. This is so solid now that, I mean, I can feel his arm ready to go like a rubber band